I don't know about you, but I think we are due some divine intervention. The good kind. Whatever you may interpret that to be. Or maybe just have a white wine spritzer and a bite of the forbidden donut. Remember, don't eat the whole thing or we will be doomed to watch 639 episodes of The Simpsons non-stop back to back. Maybe they'll stop making them when they hit 666. Oh, darn it. Well, I guess I better lie, cheat, steal, and listen to heavy metal music now.
We salute you, our half-inflated Dark Lord.
The Simpsons is the longest running American sitcom and seems to be on borrowed time. A satirical depiction of American family life, the show parodies American culture, society, television, and as I've said in other videos I've done on this show, the human condition. Growth, emotion, aspiration, conflict, and mortality. Nothing is left untouched. Philosophy, history, art, literature, anthropology, psychology, and of course, religion. Since Fox sold its soul to Satan, I mean Disney, in March 2019, The Simpsons is now a Disney property. So of course, it makes total sense, since they are responsible for the first animated depiction of Satan, to now own a show that has multiple depictions of the devil and demons in general. Though whenever the devil does appear in The Simpsons, it's not considered canon or concrete, because he either appears in dreams, visions, or in Halloween episodes. It does mean that The Simpsons can have as many versions of the devil as they want, but it also dilutes the devil's appearances somewhat since there's little to no consistency. But in almost every episode he appears in, the episode has a theme of one of the 7 deadly sins. Though the 7 deadly sins are not mentioned in the Bible at all, at least not specifically named that as a group anyway, they basically serve as the polar opposites of the 7 heavenly virtues: chastity, temperance, charity, diligence, patience, kindness, and humility. The first depiction of the devil shown in The Simpsons was in Bart Gets Hit by a Car in season 2, released in 1991. Bart is out playing on his skateboard when Mr. Burns hits him with his car, as the title implies. Though it wasn't deliberate, Mr. Burns shows no remorse. The episode shows Bart having an out-of-body experience, showing his soul leaving his body and going up a golden escalator to heaven. When instructed not to spit over the side, why would that be an instruction? Chekhov's gun has been put in place. You know he's gonna do it, self-sabotaging himself, causing the escalator to turn into a slide, sending him down to hell, or at least Bart's vision of hell, and we see a Simpsons parody of the Hieronymus Bosch painting The Garden of Earthly Delights. The art nerd in me just had a mini nerdgasm at that. Oh, come on, I said nerdgasm, not— The devil here shows himself to be modelled after the character Herman, so I'll refer to this depiction as Herman Devil. In this episode, greed is a major theme, showing Homer pursuing a huge cash settlement after Mr. Burns hits Bart with his car. Though Bart only had a concussion and a broken toe, Lionel Hutz convinces Homer to lie to the court about Bart's injuries so they could sue Mr. Burns for $1 million. Hey guys, do you know what perjury means? Herman Devil appears again just 3 episodes later in Homer vs. Lisa and the 8th Commandment in the 13th episode of season 2. This episode deals with the 10 Commandments and has a reference to the movie The 10 Commandments, released in 1956, one of my personal favourites. It shows Homer in biblical times stealing things and Moses giving the first Sermon on the Mount. The episode mainly deals with dishonesty, temptation, and theft. We also see Ned Flanders yelling at the shifty cable guy for offering to install illegal cable for $50. Homer's outlook on illegal cable or theft in general is that if everyone does it, that makes it okay. Because after all, stealing cable or piracy or, plagiarism are victimless crimes, right? The episode also talks about modern day convenience, and Bart and Lisa learn about hell in Sunday school. Because, of course they do. Because God will not force conformity, since he gave us free will, hell is the logical consequence of using free will to reject union with God. Though as a Christian myself, I don't believe hell is a literal place like some Christians do. The Sunday school teacher talks about hell like it is a real place, describing hell as a terrible place where
maggots are your sheet, worms your blanket. There's a lake of fire burning with sulfur. You'll be tormented day and night forever and ever. As a matter of fact, if you actually saw hell, you'd be so frightened you would die.
Talk about fear-mongering. Hey, let's scare the kids into believing in God. That's how faith works, right? When Lisa learns about hell and how to avoid being sent there, you must follow the 10 Commandments. She has a vision of hell and we see Herman Devil again tempting Lisa into watching illegal cable TV.
It won't cost you a thing.
Except your soul.
world such a cesspool of corruption?
I don't know. Why do I have blue hair? It's an inevitability. But the reiteration of the devil I really want to talk about, and the one you probably clicked on the video for, is from season 5 and the 4th episode of the Treehouse of Horror Halloween specials, more specifically the segment called The Devil and Homer Simpson. The very idea of Ned Flanders, a good, friendly, Christian family man, being the devil is perfect. Why? Well, as the episode said, it's always the person you least suspect. Ned Flanders' religion was not mentioned in his first few appearances, and in the first few seasons he was only mildly religious, and his primary role was to be so cloyingly perfect as to annoy and shame the Simpsons, whereas Homer Simpson has always hated Ned Flanders and tries to undermine him. In the Bible, 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14, it tells us that Satan disguises himself as an angel of light for the purpose of deceiving the human race, to portray himself as good, truthful, loving, and strong. The funny thing is, Ned is also left-handed. The left hand symbolized the power to shame society and was used as a metaphor for misfortune, natural evil, or punishment from the gods. Not only does he refuse to repress his own left-handedness, he operates a store that caters specifically to left-handed people. If nothing else, it is a shrine of arrogance to an unholy preference of dexterity. I may be reading too much into this. Ned appears to be the perfect neighbor, the nicest guy ever, the opposite of Homer in every single way, and a devout Christian. Homer dislikes Ned for no real reason other than he may secretly want to be just like him. More to the point, it somehow feels satisfying to see him as the devil, since in early seasons, Ned's kindness and unshakable happiness felt inauthentic somehow. Having Ned Flanders as the devil makes Homer's rare moment of clarity when he doesn't eat the last bite of the forbidden donut, makes his gloating all the more personal.
I'm smarter than the devil. I'm smarter than the devil.
He's finally outsmarted Ned, at least within the canon of our Halloween episode. Ned has the odd habit of attaching diddly and doodly and other nonsensical phrases to his sentences. Hi diddly ho neighborino is a common example. This is the result of sublimated anger caused by his upbringing, anger which has no other outlet. The main problem with Ned to me is that he ended up over time becoming the embodiment of almost every single negative stereotype of the God-fearing, Bible-thumping American Christian evangelist. He was originally meant to be Homer's opposite, a contrasting character to Homer that showed what life could be like if he was just a little kinder. Though this change for Ned was gradual, the act of taking a single or minor action or trait of a character and exaggerating it until it consumes the character entirely is now named after Ned. Flanderization. Though Flanderization doesn't have to be a bad thing necessarily, it can be used to expand on a character's personality when they are brought to the foreground. It can be beneficial on a cast-wide scale. In the case of The Simpsons, which is full of zany, outlandish personas, Ned was technically one of the straight men and sadly has had very little character development beyond friendly Christian neighbor. But again, this just makes seeing him depicted as the devil all the more satisfying. Doing this does give his character some development in a non-canonical sense, which in season 5 was the first time this was really done with any character in the show, if I remember right. Definitely one of the most interesting depictions of the devil in animation, at least in context of the show, and one of the most memorable. Now on to the next animated devil. Join me in the next video and we'll be accused of being Satanists once again. I'm Mad Munchkin, stay creative. Holy cow, this video took a long time to put together. There was so much research I had to do for this one, and although I didn't watch all what 639 episodes or something it is now, I did have to watch a lot of episodes of The Simpsons to put this video together, so it was such a headache. Anyway, I wanted to give my Patreon supporters a shout out. These videos would not be possible without you guys, so I want to give a shout out to my top Patreons. So this month we have Lance Wolfstar, Pyrodron, Rainbow Dash Fan, James the Brony, Devon T. Jemming, Risky Dragon, OLD, Seeker, Sanjay DK, DELC17, Transformer Brett, Invisible Gust, Picademus, CT Stormwing, CT0798, Tristan N. Milner, Patronators, Kick It 6, Steamworks, The Wicked Merman, Nuka's the Name, Alex Hunter, Brongar Unknown 620, Charles Meeker, Seth Richards, Aces Wild, Mystic Mind, J-Rog 1989, Meg the Pict, Rocky Harmony, and Pedro Lopez. If you want to support me on Patreon and have your name shout out, you can find a link to my Patreon in the description below, where you can also join my Discord server and have one-on-one chats with me and make video requests and all sorts of other awesome stuff. Thanks for the ongoing support. Wear your mask, wash your hands, stay safe, and all that other nonsense. Oh yeah, and stay creative. That's important too.